you're currently in that state where your current or rather your current pay, your current salary is not sufficiently meeting all your needs. You really want an extra income because you're in constant debt, you're not able to meet your obligations here and there, and you want to do something that is not going to affect your full-time employment. You can do your work, be in your full-time employment, and still do these 10 side hustles that I'm gonna share with you. Hi, and welcome back to Careers with Nelly, the channel where I share with you content on career growth, job search strategies, and I have workplace conversations that help you to make the right decision to build a rewarding and fulfilling career. If you're here for the first time, my name is Nelly. I am a career coach, a HR professional, and I share content on career growth on my social media platforms, and of course here being included, YouTube being included. And if you're a returning viewer and part of this community, if you've subscribed to this channel, thank you so much for being part of this community where we're all about learning. And thank you so much for subscribing. And I want to believe that this channel has genuinely added value to your career. Today's conversation is an interesting one, and it is actually taking a different turn. Today's conversation is talking about money and how you can earn an extra income out of your full-time job if you're currently employed, out of your 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. How else can you make an extra coin? Because it is important, especially in the times where we are. If you're in Kenya, you know that the current take home has been significantly affected because of the increase, or rather the introduction of taxes. And you know that the current economy, or rather the current economic status, is not any friendly. So then there's more than a million reasons why any professional would want to make an extra coin. I want to share with you 10 side hustles that you can actually do and make an extra income if you're still in full employment. That's what this video is all about. And if this is a content that you'll want to follow through, that you'll want to learn, you're currently in that state where your current or rather your current pay, your current salary is not sufficiently meeting all your needs. You really want an extra income, because you're in constant debt, you're not able to meet your obligations here and there, and you want to do something that is not going to affect your full-time employment. These tips are actually not going to necessitate you to leave your work. You can do your work, be in your full-time employment, and still do these 10 side hustles that I'm going to share with you. So that's the conversation for today. If this is something you want to watch, then I'm sure you're going to stay with me till the end of this video. Now, let's get deeper into this conversation. And I think it will be important to understand who needs, or rather why you need a side hustle. I've just touched a bit on it when I was introducing the video. So who needs a side hustle? You need a side hustle if your current job is not meeting your financial obligations. How does that look like? You're in constant debt despite getting your salary every month. You're not able to meet all your basic needs, and basic needs I even mean rent. Imagine going to work every day and you can't pay your rent. Imagine going to work every day and you can't pay school fees for your children. Imagine going to work every day and you can't meet basic needs, as basic as food, just decent food, decent clothing. So then you need an extra income. Another category of people who need a side hustle are people who have extra time. What do I mean by extra time? Let's say you finish your work, or you come from work as early as 4:30, 5 p.m. and you have all the time from 5 p.m. maybe to 9 p.m. when you'll be sleeping, or even to 10 p.m. So you have like more than almost 6 hours or so before your bedtime after you work. Then why not use that extra time to do something, to earn some extra coin? So again, who needs a side hustle? Guys, we all need it, because Job security is not guaranteed. I know some of us have permanent and pensionable contract, but again, what about the redundancies? What about the layoffs that are happening left, right, and center? That actually tells you that no job is permanent. Whether it is written permanent and pensionable, any job can end at any time. We all need a side hustle because there's need to diversify your sources of income. So who needs a side hustle? Probably most people. Probably you who is watching this video, who's actually facing these things that I've mentioned, constantly in cycles of debts, not able to meet your needs sufficiently. You have extra time after work. Your job is not secured because really there's no job that is secured. Then you need a side hustle. So what do you need to consider before you settle or you choose a side hustle? Because remember, it's a side hustle. That actually means you still have a full-time job that you have to respectfully take care of. Remember, we say that this side hustle does not necessarily mean that you're going to leave your full-time employment or your full-time job. And it is not a side hustle that you're going to do at the time that you're supposed to do your employer's work. That's a disclaimer. It is a job, or rather it is something that you can do after your 8 to 5. So that means that it is not something that you're going to do when you're supposed to do your employer's work. Guys, mark that and get that clearly. So it is something you're supposed to do after work. So what are you supposed to consider before you settle for a side hustle? Remember, I'm going to share 10, but it's important to get this first, that what are you supposed to consider? Because we've also seen many people start side hustles which did not succeed, which they took investments, took a lot of money, put in it, and it's actually, in Kenya we said ilikunywa maji, it drank water, it didn't go through. So it's important that you consider some very critical aspects, or rather very critical points, that I'm going to share with you right now. The first thing that you need to consider before you settle for a side hustle is the time that is available. How long do you have that you can commit to that side hustle? The second thing you need to consider is the amount of investment. You don't, because it is a side hustle, that means you're not going to give it all your time. You don't need to have something that you're going to put a very huge investment in, because it can drink water. So you need to consider the amount, or rather the investment, the initial investment that is required. Another thing, you need to consider the knowledge that you have in that business, guys, because in the past, most of us, we've run businesses that we knew nothing about. You open maybe for instance, you don't have any knowledge when it comes to salon. You open it, you're in your work full time, you've left someone and you know nothing about it, whether people were plated, whether blow dry was done or not, you don't know. So it is important that when you're considering a side hustle, you settle for something that you're quite knowledgeable about. Or if not quite knowledgeable, or it's not maybe 100%, but at least you have knowledge about it. So knowledge is very important. So we've said time available, knowledge, amount of investment. The next one is the risk involved. How risky is the side hustle that you choose to settle for? Because I promise you, high risk, high return, but high risk, high level of involvement that side hustle will need. So you can't tell me that you're calling something a side hustle if it will need you to be there like 6 hours, 7 hours, which more or less equal time, 8 hours that your full-time job needs you. There will be a battle in terms of time. And the last one, which is very important if you're employed, is conflict of interest. You can't choose a side hustle that conflicts what you're currently employed to do. It will bring problems with your employer. That's actually being in competition with your employer. And finally, it will get you fired, by the way, if it is discovered. So if you're selecting a side hustle, please ensure that there is no conflict of interest with your employer. Ensure that it is something that you are not competing for the same clients as the one that your employer serves. So now that we know what to consider and we actually know that we need that side hustle, now let's get deeper. Here are the 10 side hustles that you can do if you're in full-time employment. And by the way, make sometimes even more money than your full-time employment. I've seen people who have turned their full-time employment to side hustles instead, in terms of the amount of money that they can generate. So number one is consultancy, or using your skills. So here is how using your skills comes into play. Let's say you're employed as an accountant, you have accounting skills. You know, you have accounting skills, you're doing accounting full-time in the office. You can actually put that skill into practice by offering consultancy on the side. And I know I talked about conflict of interest. I know I talked about doing the same thing that your employer does. But now, just to make it very specific, you can't serve the same clients that your employer is serving. So you can do accounting consultants, maybe tax consultation. You know, maybe at your place of work, you're not doing actually the same, that same task. So when you come outside here, you have clients, you have small businesses, SMEs, individuals who are struggling to file their tax. Why don't you offer that service to these people as a consultant? You're working full-time as maybe a counselor. We have a lot of people who need counseling outside here. You know, you can offer that skill on a consultancy basis. You're a HR, you're working full-time, you can offer that service as a consultancy. And now when it comes to conflict of interest, please, as long as you're not doing that job the same time that you're supposed to do your employer's work, and you're not competing for the same clients that your employer will be competing for, draw the lines. So consultancy is one of them. It is called using your skills. You can actually use your skills. And the good thing about using your skills to offer consultancy outside your 8 to 5 is that this is what you do on a day-to-day basis. So I promise you, it is much easier to offer this service, and you can give much value, because you know what, it is something that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So your knowledge in that service is actually top-notch. You'll take lesser time to offer the solution. It will be much easy, and there are higher chances that you'll actually provide value. The second side hustle is online freelance work. With the digital era that we are in, there's a lot of opportunities online. So let me just list a few which are my favorite that you can actually do and earn an extra income. The first one is online writing, whether it is copywriting, blog post writing, writing whatever type of content for companies that need to use that for marketing. The other one is academic writing. If you're a Kenyan, you actually know that, or if you don't know that, but you've heard about it. Academic writing, helping students with their academic work online from across the globe. From across the country, there are students who need help with their classwork. So you can actually get into online writing, a very prime area, by the way. You don't need a lot of skills. You just need to learn how to do your research, how to do research, how to do the formatting, and you're good to go. The other one under online freelance work is social media management. A very big space, very big industry. Most companies, and even individuals, even personalities, or you think if you see people put out posts there, they're the ones who are actually posting. Some CEOs, big people are actually very busy. They never ever post. There's someone who is managing that account for them. So you can do social media management, very prime. Another hustle under online freelance work is virtual assistant job, personal or virtual assistant. That is actually where the world is going to. The big CEOs, managing directors, these big professional entrepreneurs, some don't even have offices, so they don't even hire people to work for them in a physical space. What do? They hire a virtual personal assistant. So there are a number of online courses that you can learn VA skills. I know there was one that was being offered by, I'm forgetting, if I remember, I'll actually link it here for you guys. You can actually do that. There was one that was being offered free. I was trying to remember that, but I'll link it on this video. So you can actually become a virtual assistant. Very prime area. Another one in this place is also online transcription. Transcription is very prime. And the good thing about these online hustles, guys, is that you don't need a lot of skills. You just need to maybe watch a few tutorials and, of course, get the basic knowledge and offer quality, and you'll get clients. We will come as we go along. I'll actually share with you how you get started as well. So just follow me. Just keep together to the next point. So point number 3 is practicing your passion or talent. And this is among my most favorite. Now, let me tell you, you could be working as an engineer, but that's a profession. And sometimes, for most people, unfortunately, they are in professions that are not their passion or their talent. So if you're an engineer, but your talent or your passion maybe is cooking, so you can leverage or you can start offering this talent or this talent or passion. You can convert it into an income generating activity. How do you do that? I've given an example of an engineer, which is a profession, but outside work, they enjoy cooking. They are a great chef. They can cook any type of dish you can think of in this world. So here is the thing. You can start actually by cooking and offering services as a personal chef, catering services in events. Every other Saturday, Sundays, every other weekend, I see family gatherings and I see people being called to cook. People who are actually not necessarily even doing it as a full-time, doing it as a side hustle. Baking. We celebrate birthdays and special occasions every other day. We eat cakes. So these things, you realize you can come from work, start your cooking, deliver them tomorrow. I've seen guys cooking chapatis online and selling, a very big space, because anyway, sio kila mtu anajua kupika chapo, you know that. So guys, there's a very big space in turning your passion and talent into an income generating. Cooking is one of them. You're fully employed, maybe as whatever career, that is a profession, but you're a talented deco person. You love converting spaces into amazing sites. You can actually decorate spaces. You're a creative person, so you can start a side hustle, home deco, getting to people's houses, decorating, putting those nice wallpapers, making our sitting rooms and whatever rooms, kitchens look very beautiful. So it's a big space. If you have a talent, you're sitting on it. If there's something you're passionate about, guys, please create time and see that actually turn into an income generating activity, which will not require you to necessarily leave your full-time employment. The next one, guys, is farming. Please don't frown or change your face. Farming is quite lucrative. And let me give you an example of farming that will not need your time. Let's pick animal farming. So put something like goats, cows, sheep, and because they don't require your time every time. I know I've had conversation with friends who are doing farming like poultry farming, which needs a lot of time and needs a lot of knowledge, by the way. So if you're not yet there, you don't have that time to wake up and feed the chicken and look at them, do that and that, count them, please don't get there. But something like keeping goats, sheep, cows may not need a lot of time. It depends where you are. All you need is to get somebody who will maybe go take them for herding, to feed them here and there, whether it's zero grazing or open, whatever it is that you choose. But the good thing is that once you are known for that and once you have a good quality, people will always know and be coming there to take them, buy them from you for meat. And this can be a monthly income generating, and the income, the return is massive. The next one is content creation. Content creation. You're watching this video. This is actually a content creator. I'm actually a content creator. If you have a skill, you can actually do this. Create content in the area of your expertise. What are you so good in doing? Are you so good in explaining to people 1, 2, 3? Are you a very good marketer? You want to teach people how to build strong brands. You want to teach people how to build great careers like I'm doing. You want to teach people how to make great dishes. I've also seen people who just do food content. They don't necessarily have to go to people's houses to cook or even offer that service, cooking, deliver food and all that. They just come to YouTube or whatever platform that you have chosen. There is TikTok, there is Instagram, there is Facebook. And the good news is that all these platforms nowadays are monetizing. It takes time, but you can actually monetize out of just sharing your knowledge. What are you good at? Is it just weaving? Is it plaiting hair, making very nice hairstyles, makeup? Guys, you've seen it. So this one, I'm talking to professionals who are sitting in those offices and are sitting on great potentials. Because we've seen the cry. Everyone is crying. The pay slip has gone down. Pay slip imekonda. That's the word that we use in Kenya. So what are we doing about it? So you can actually start creating content in your area of expertise. A very lucrative area. It will want you to be very patient. It will want you to be very consistent. But at the end of it all, it will pay. So even apart from just waiting for those platforms to monetize, it's your place where you get clients. Once you put yourself outside there and people know what you do, you can actually begin to attract clients for the services that you're talking about. So if you're there, you can speak, you can show people the how-to videos, the demos and all that. Please come and join me on this other side of content creation. The next one is earning through dividends or interest. So this one is another lucrative area. Will require you to do a lot of research before making your decision. How do you earn through dividends and interest? Number one, the first one is earning through, investing in shares and government securities. If you become a shareholder of a company, you don't necessarily need to become the biggest shareholder, but you need to start small with a small investment of whatever amount that you choose. Nowadays, you know, uh, unlike old days where maybe in the Nairobi Security Exchange, the NSC, you were required to have like 100, or maybe a minimum of 100 shares. Nowadays, you can even buy one. You can even buy whatever amount that you can. So start small and grow your portfolio over time. So by growing your portfolio, maybe you've put like per month, there's a specific amount that you're sending into that account. Whether it is a savings account, it's a money market fund, it's shares that you're buying, but at least you have a consistent specific amount that you put that every month you are channeling towards that investment. It will give you returns over time. It may take time, but again, the good thing is that if you choose a good company, there is the essence of stability, there is security of your money, and of course, ultimately, you begin to earn returns, whether it's on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, but there's something that you're making out of your 8 to 5, guys. The next one is creating a digital product. So in the digital age that we are in, a digital product is a very lucrative side hustle to start thinking of. So how will a digital product look like? Let's say we've given examples of good chefs, we've given examples of teachers, we've given examples of coaches. If you're a coach, you can actually develop or create an online coaching course. Instead of having people on a Teams call, on a Zoom call from time to time, why not make that course available online? It is easy and it can be accessed by many people at a go, which can even increase your income. So a digital course, from coaching to recipes, we have recipe books, we have process how-to books. If you can create a digital product on maybe hair, telling us how to grow your hair, the African kinky hair, telling us how to style your hair, telling us how to do makeup from A to Z. Whatever it is, you can create a digital product on your area of expertise, whether it is just teaching people how to do something. So please identify what is it that you like doing, and you don't maybe have time to be having people on a call to coach on one-on-one, or to have virtual sessions from time to time. Having a digital course is very lucrative. Now, guys, a disclaimer here, because there's one thing I've noted. In the era of AI, there's a lot of copy pasting. I know there's AI, this ChatGPT can help you create a course in very short time. Please, if you want to create something that will earn you money, don't do a copy paste. Take your time, do research, understand what your audience need, who is your audience, what do they need, and customize, or rather create something that will add value. If you'll add value, then competition will not be a problem. If you'll add value, even pricing will not be a problem. Don't copy paste. Don't go to someone's course and take exactly what they're teaching. You can actually look for other people's courses in your area just to understand what is missing, what can I add, what are they talking about, but don't copy paste. Because with the era of AI, if I look up your course in AI or whichever place, it will actually show me that this one was copied from here. So be unique and offer value that people will be willing to pay for. The next side hustle, guys, is renting a property. What property do you have, or what do you have that you're not utilizing but can give you money? Let's start with one of the most lucrative that most people actually do, is Airbnb business, or renting apartments for short or long-term stays. Guys, Do you know you can make money just by renting an apartment somewhere and having people use it when they come for their vacations, when they travel into your city or your car or wherever you are? You can start the Airbnb business, understand which area is lucrative based on where you stay, how much do you need, how many rooms, fully furnish it, ensure that it is comfortable, that even if you stay there, you can feel comfortable. Because I mean, just put yourself in the shoes of that client who will come in that house. You can do an Airbnb rental apartment. I mean, rent those apartments for short and long-term stays. Another renting out property that you can do. Now, this is for those people with land. What to approach. If you have a kaploti somewhere and you're not using it, have you ever thought of renting it out to someone who can use it? Maybe you're not the type who want to rear chicken. You're not the type who want to fuga, mbuzi and all that. You can rent it out to someone who want to build a ranch, who want to start a car wash business, whatever it is. So please think of renting that kaploti somewhere that you've not started using and it's lying there idle. There are events happening here and there over the weekends, people doing birthday parties, people doing celebrations of what kind. You can think of renting that ground and actually making money over the weekend with it. Another thing that you can rent, maybe you have a car and you're saying, I can actually use a matatu, I don't need a car, or even you have an extra one. You can use your car and rent it out for car hire business. So please think of making money. What property do you have at home sitting down there, lying down there, not giving you value, but you can use it to actually make an extra income? The next one, which will require very less effort but can make you money, guys, is being a middleman. I'm saying a middleman, you are an in-between person. So this is how this works. Now, let me give you an example. Have you ever gone to your office, or are you the type of person who goes to your workplace and people always ask you, like, who did your hair? This shoe, where did you buy it? Oh, who does your car? Who washes your car? Who does this and that? If you're that type of person, you're actually sitting on an opportunity. For instance, if people always ask you who does your hair, why not tell your saloonist that everyone I'll refer to you, I'll get my commission? So a middleman, you actually earn through commission. Maybe you're working in those high-end offices where your colleagues cannot get to the Gikombas or wherever you stay in the part of the country. And you can actually go and get those clothes and come and sell to them at an extra amount over the weekend. So whatever it is that there's always somebody who knows where to get something somewhere where not everyone knows. There are those people who knows those two chums that not everyone knows. You can take advantage of that. You go to the office, they love your shoes. Oh, okay, I know who does this. I can give you their number. And every time you give a number, they call your supplier and they purchase. There's a commission for you. So you can be a middleman in so many things. Maybe the examples I've given are just a few, but begin thinking, which area can you connect people? Are you the one who know where to get what at a cheaper price or at a favorable price? You can always be connecting people with service providers. Do you know the best tour guides, tour companies? If you know, you can always be connecting people with the service providers as a middleman. You can be a middle person in so many things and earn your commission out of those referrals. The last one, guys, is caregiving. And caregiving, for the purpose of this video, I've made it very broad. There are so many areas where you can do caregiving. We have our old parents, and nowadays, most people want to bring their parents from the village and they stay with them. At least most people I know that do that. And I have seen people, especially now, this one is for people who are in the medical space. I know you're asking, I'm a medic, what can I do? I've seen nurses offering home care services over the weekend as a freelance. You don't even need to open a home care and all that. We have new moms giving birth. They want advice. How do I take care of my baby? How do I manage reflux? How do I do diaper rashes? How do I do this? If you're good in that area, you can offer advice. Freelance, just advisory, or just getting to maybe doing home visits over the weekend to do caregiving for old people, for children with special needs. It's a very big area. Sometimes you don't even need to open a daycare, but well, if you want to open a daycare or a home care somewhere and have someone work for you on the side, you have your systems. Still a very lucrative space as well. But of course, I wanted to just give you ideas on the things that you can do without necessarily putting in too much time, or without necessarily leaving your 8 to 5. So home care business, very, very lucrative. Whether you want to care for the elderly, the sick elderly people, just the elderly, whether you want to care for children, whether you want to care for new moms and just guide them on how do they take care of their newborns, whether you want, whatever area that you choose to offer your support, home care is very, very huge. Whether you want to open a daycare. So guys, before we do a recap of this video, now I want to share a very critical area, because most people have started these side hustles and they actually didn't make it. They actually failed because, number one, remember, this is a business that you're starting and you're still having your 9 to 5. So there's an amount of work that you're going to put into it. Even though it's not the full 8 hours, but there's a number of, there's much that you're going to put into it. There's time, there's investment. So how do you get started? We said that the most important thing is to, the factors that I shared. We talked about time, risk, understanding, and all that. So how you get started, you said, this is a business that you've already understood. Maybe it's what you're currently doing, as you've already explained. So get started by the people who are close to you. This could be your family members. This could be your colleagues at work. We've talked about getting to the office with nice shoes and they ask you, where do you get them? Tell them, oh, I know a place where they sell these shoes. I know a good place. They'll send you, go and buy, make your margin, make your profit. Start with colleagues, start with close family members. Start small, please, because it's a side hustle. You're not there full time. You do it just when you're free. Do not go and take a loan or put a huge investment. That would be my very honest advice. Huge investment on it. Start small and see how it grows. We all know, we've seen people who started as side hustles and they ended up leaving employment because it can actually work. It depends on how do you structure it. What time are you willing to give it? How much are you willing to give to it? The next thing you need to do is to leverage free marketing. Don't start investing on a social media. If you're just starting out, use TikTok, do videos, use Facebook free, use Instagram, use even LinkedIn if you're offering professional services. So you want to start small. You want to start investing in something. At least you have knowledge. You want to start with the people who are around you. Those ones who see you and always tell you that you're smart. Start with those ones because they'll buy quickly. It will be easy to sell. And finally, start something you're passionate about. Because if you're not passionate, you will not keep with it. You'll not keep up with it. It will bore you. It will be a burden. There's already an 8 to 5. There's already a boss you have to deal with. There's already too much you have to deal with. So please start at least doing something that you love. It will make your work much easier. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Maybe you're there wondering, is this for me? Please start something on the side. It is important because jobs are not, the job security is not guaranteed. The economy is the way it is. So that you reduce the less frustration, because I see people getting to work, people are so frustrated. This job is not this, but at least at the end of the day, you need that job. So start small, be consistent, and you need to be patient. It's not gonna make profit overnight. Consistency, showing up every day, and just giving it your best will actually help you to get the best out of it. So just to quickly recap the 10 points, we've talked about consulting, which is using your skills on the side. We've talked about online freelance work. We've talked about practicing your passion or talent. We've talked about farming, the different types of farming, whether it's poultry, animal, and all that. We've talked about content creation. We've talked about earning through dividends. We've talked about creating a digital product. We've talked about renting out a property. We've talked about becoming a middleman. We've talked about caregiving business. So if you got value in this video, please be sure to subscribe to this channel, because on this channel I share with you content that help you to build a rewarding and fulfilling careers. And for today, I strongly believe that financial freedom is one of the ways that you will begin, or rather one of the ingredients that you actually need to be comfortable and build a career that you truly love. So thank you so much for watching, and if you've stayed with me till this end, be sure to subscribe, be sure to share this content. Thank you for watching. Once again, I'll see you in the next video.